kind of did something bad. I ended up, wanna ride the go-karts?
No.
What's up, you guys? I'm so tired. I had to wake up super early to take my mom to the doctor. She had to get a procedure done. I'm on my way to my friend's house. I got to pick up some gear that he borrowed from me, and I have some gear I borrowed from him. So I'm gonna do the old switcheroo. I'm almost home now, got my stuff. Now I can do some more recording stuff and video stuff. Probably don't need for a while, but any stuff that I use, like when I lend it out, I like to try and keep it close by, because lend it out too long, because that's how things get lost and forgotten about. And then I'm like, hey, what did I do with that thing that I had? I lost it. Someone else had it and never said, hey, I still got the thing, you know. So it happens. I just try and prevent it, you know, if I can. So just trying to decide what I should work on today. I had to go to the bathroom earlier, and I had to walk past my bedroom. I saw my bed. I was like, that looks great. I don't know, whatever I decide to do, I'm gonna take you with me. Hey guys, next day. It's been super cold. Last night it was like 12 degrees out, but it's actually kind of nice out. And if you guys follow me on Facebook, I bought a go-kart to redo for me and my daughter. And then I ended up finding one the next day that I got for myself and like beefed it up, you know. So we are going to ride them around the yard for a little bit today. Our yard's like decently big. It's enough for us to just like putt around. But we share a yard with our neighbor, and our neighbor has a dog. So we just have to watch out for dog dirt. So I'm gonna check for dog poop and get the go-karts ready. I hate dog poop so much. We lived here for a long time, and it really sucks. Like, we like to spend time out in the yard a lot. I don't think my neighbors watch this vlog. If you do, I'm sorry guys. I told you guys before, I love dogs. We like to be outside in the yard, and we can look out for it. But once we had a kid, she didn't know, you know. So if you guys have kids, you understand. Let me show you guys the karts. I posted them on my personal Facebook. Like as I was doing them, I did mostly some before and after pictures. I didn't really do any progress pictures, but a couple people said like, yo, you should have vlogged about this or whatever. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't know. I didn't think anybody would really on this channel would be interested. This is the first one I got. It was, I'll post a picture now of the before, but this is it now. Pretty sweet. It was definitely beat up. Got it looking pretty good now. It's just a little kid's cart. Like I barely fit on it. And then this one's mine. That's the back. I modified it. I put a new engine on it. If you guys follow anybody like Cars and Cameras and Redbeard's Garage on YouTube, I put a new Predator engine, jetted it, put a high performance intake on it, header with the performance muffler. Probably gonna put heavier valve springs. Let me pull this out so I can show you guys a better view of it. Sorry guys, I'm still having trouble with this focus. There we go. I was thrashing around in it a little bit today, but so it's a little muddy. This is it right here, guys. So this is a Murray hard drive. They don't make these anymore. And it's pretty quick. I got it up to 31, but I geared it mostly for torque. So it'll have more power to like drive off road and go up hills and stuff like that. But you can see how muddy I got it today. I took it out and I had good, like decent clothes on, but I had to like modify this back end. If you guys know anything about the Murray hard drives, they had a tiny sprocket with like a gear reducer. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna start these up. Hopefully me and the fam have fun just thrashing around the yard. So let's do it. I've actually gotten this kid's cart up to 26 miles an hour. It's way too fast. My daughter's not big enough to drive it on her own yet, but it was just an engine I kind of had laying around, so I threw it on there. But it's the first time the family's gonna go ride together, so we're just gonna see what's up. All right, I think we're pretty much ready.
We found this, there was water in this bucket, and so there's little ice cubes of stars.
I have one.
You don't want to ride the go-karts?
No.
All right, maybe your mommy are gonna ride for a little bit.
I just want to ride one around a little bit.
You could ride on Princess Peach with me. All right, you don't have to. Get it, girl! Right. I'm done. Sit on my lap, okay? We got done riding go-karts, playing outside finally for once. Did you have fun?
Yes.
Did you have fun on the go-kart buggy?
Yeah.
Gonna go get some food. We starving. Okay, so got everything cleaned up and I decided to use my leaf blower to sweep everything out so everything's looking pretty good. Downside to using a leaf blower to blow out the garage is that, one, it makes it super dusty, which you probably can't tell, but it's actually cleared up a little bit, and makes it smell like 2-cycle fumes. So right now letting it air out, but in the meantime, just want to show you guys what I did. So this was the space that was already kind of cluttered up. Oops, we're going the wrong way. This got this cleared out too, but now I can have my toolbox. I got this little box that has all my bits and bobs in it. This toolbox has been in here, but I usually keep that in my car just in case I break down or whatever. But now I got tons of space to work on this motor. Got some paper towels, a couple hooks for GoPro parts, my earplugs for when I'm grinding and stuff like that, little brush that doesn't stay on the hook. Biggest thing too is I ran this extension cord over to an outlet so I can plug in this little adapter. Now I have a light plugged in, so I had a light here already, but this one has a switch that works. So now I can just come in, hit that switch. All right, so the fumes are pretty much cleared out. Hopefully, I don't think my neighbor watches this, but hopefully, neighbor, this doesn't upset you that I cleared it up. You got a ton of space now, and of course this is your garage, so now you have a workbench as well to work on stuff. So I'm gonna put the camera down, get the motor up here, and start digging into it, see what if it's fixable or not. This is it. This motor came off of black and teal go-kart, the little 2-seater kids one. You guys hopefully saw yesterday if the footage was good. A lot going on with it. It does turn. However, when I do turn it so much, it gets stuck. So I'm not sure what's hitting. It's definitely inside the motor. I don't know if there's rust up in the head or something's rusted down here. So I gotta open it up. That's probably gonna be my biggest issue. If that's not fixable, I'm just gonna junk this motor. The other issue is there was a centrifugal clutch on here that was in bad shape, but I didn't have a wheel puller to get this off. I was trying to use an angle grinder to like cut off as much as I could. And unfortunately what happened was I cut too far down. It doesn't look like you guys can see that, but I cut down past this sleeve here. This sleeve will come off. I cut down into this shaft, which is the crankshaft that goes through the motor, which is probably not good. They don't make these motors anymore as far as I know. I have seen the parts on eBay. This is gonna go on a go-kart. It's probably not that big of a deal. I'm not sure how much I cut into it. It doesn't look like it's that much, but the biggest thing is getting inside this motor to see if there's just been water in there and there's rust, and I can kind of clean it up just to get it going. There's a lot of other issues too. It does get spark, which is good. This gas tank, when I put gas in it, it leaked. I'm not sure if it's from the hose, going from the hose to the carburetor. I don't know what happened here, but whoever had this motor before, there's these cuts. Hopefully it's just the hose. This gas cap doesn't really fit on there. It's so hard to get off right now because it's like cross-threaded. And the other thing is this carburetor. These engines don't have a choke. You would usually just push this button. It's kind of like if you have a lawnmower, sometimes they have this prime button, you push it. I can't even push it. The rubber is so hard and old that you can't even push it. So I don't even know if I need a new carb or if I can just replace this button. One thing that was hard to find, there's 2 screws that bolt to here, and there's a housing for the air filter. Biggest thing is I have to get inside this motor, so let's do it to it. Guys, I just realized something. I got these bolts came out of this side cover pretty easy. I used my mallet to tap it up that you guys probably saw in the time lapse. And I don't know what I was thinking, because I told you guys about this sleeve being stuck on here. I can't get this case up past this sleeve because, well, the sleeve's in the way. So I gotta figure out how to get this off. All right, guys, in this hole, there's a screw with a special kind of head called an Allen key. That, well, I'm sure you know what a freaking Allen screw is. So when I was trying to get this off before, I was starting to strip it out. So that's why I started to cut it. If I can't get it out, I have another neighbor that hopefully can help me. He works on motors and stuff too. So if he's home, I'm gonna give him a call, but let's try and do this on my own first. So the drill bits I have are kind of cheap and they don't really do well with metal, especially hardened steel. And I think this sleeve is hardened steel, so I had to keep switching back between bits because the only bit that I have that will cut hardened steel is 3/8 bit, which is like this bigger circle here, the shiny circle. I think I've gotten as far as I can go with what I have. I'm not really sure how else to do it. If you guys know a better way to do this, I would like to know. I'm still kind of learning. I know a little bit about motors and stuff like that, but I'm still learning. So I tried a couple different things to try and get that off, but couldn't get it off. So I called my neighbor. He has a tool he thinks that can help, but he's not home right now, so I gotta wait for him, which is no big deal. So I think in the meantime, take the other parts off of the motor. I think they have a problem. If they're good, I'll know what I need to buy. And if the motor's shot, not worth fixing, it's already taken apart, maybe I can just part it out. So I made a good discovery, and which kind of sucks that it happened this way. This is what I get for assuming. I wish I wouldn't have cut that up because the crankshaft was okay. I would have had to replace that clutch anyway, so I still would have had the same problem with trying to get that sleeve off, but let me show you guys. So if I didn't show you earlier, I was spinning this side of the motor, and I showed you how at a certain point it kind of got stuck, and I assumed it was something inside. There was some rust or something. But as I was taking this apart to find out some other problem, to figure out some of the other problems I was telling you guys about. So this thing right here is the ignition coil, and I took the bolts out already, but it's bolted somewhere around there. And I noticed when I spun this, let me just move this. I'm working with one hand here, guys. When the motor would get stuck, it was right when this part here, which is the magnet, got to the ignition coil, and then I pushed it as far as I could, and I looked at it, and there was no gap in between this and where the ignition coil goes. And there's usually a tiny gap, like only about the thickness of a business card. So I took that ignition coil off, and you wouldn't believe what happens now. It spins freely. It was getting stuck because someone took this off and didn't gap it correctly. Dang. Okay, so I got more good news. I'm getting more and more excited about this engine. I know you're probably not supposed to do this, but I put a little bit of water in the gas tank, and I switched the water around. It didn't leak anywhere except for that hole where it's supposed to come out anyways, that nipple. This one cut here that I was showing you guys earlier, all these cuts, this is the only one that leaks, but this plastic gas tank, and I'm pretty sure I can fix that. I have a plastic gas tank on my car that I fixed years ago. I used an old tip on a soldering iron and like kind of melted the crack back together like welding, but with plastic. And then I used, I can't remember, I think it's JB Weld. There was like a 2-part epoxy thing. You just kind of like squeeze it and then you just like mix it and smear it right on there, and it hardens really hard. It was made for plastic, so this gas tank's good, which is great because I think the cheapest one I found was on eBay. It was like 50 or 60 bucks. That's why I wanted to look into this motor more to see if it was going to be worth it. The other thing I wanted to mention though, this was the fuel line that went from, this part was connected to the gas tank right there, and this part goes to the other part of the motor called the carburetor. There is a slit and it's cut all the way through. I was going to replace the hoses anyway, so boom. So this is the carburetor. Brings air and the fuel mixture in, goes up here, and this goes into the engine, and it's cracked right here. And I'm pretty sure this is cast aluminum, and I don't know how to weld this, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find this part, so this might be a huge issue. All right, so I'm still waiting for my buddy. Got this thing off, definitely cracked, but I wanted to show you guys this. This is really bad. Inside the carburetor bowl is not supposed to look like this, and it is not supposed to have dirt. See that dirt? Yeah, that's not supposed to be in there. So my friend couldn't make it, so kind of did something bad. You remember how I showed you the crankshaft? Yeah, so I ended up just cutting it off, which was great because I was able to get into the crankcase, and I found out, you know, nothing's wrong in there. When I was online looking at parts before, because I thought I was going to need a new crankshaft, I thought that I had saw it for like 25 bucks. Well, I did see one for 25 bucks. The problem is it's not the right one. I actually found the manual for this engine, found the part number. It's actually 70 bucks. So, yeah. With all the other parts I need just to get this engine running, it's probably going to be more than 100 bucks, which is pretty unfortunate because you can just go to Harbor Freight and get a new engine for 120 bucks. The rest of the engine is good, but the engine as a whole is not good. It is what it is. I'm gonna sell this one, hopefully get a bigger 2-seater, one that fits like 2 adults. If you guys were into this, let me know. This is something I do like doing. It's one of my hobbies. I come out here and tinker around if that's something you guys want to follow. And any suggestions you guys have, it's just me figuring it all out on my own. So thanks guys for checking it out. Yeah, see ya.
All right.